I'm Maggie, but it's us. It's a system. And I've got people on my shoulder talking to me, and it's all in my mind.
Happy July 5th, everybody. The 4th is done. It was insane here around the lake house. I have some video I'm going to show you. Today, I'm talking about this lady who has 40 different personalities. And before you go and say, oh, get the F out of here or bullshit, let me tell you that dissociative identity disorder, or DID, is a very rare condition in which two or more identities are present in one person.
I think Orwell or Jade or Samuel or Heinrich had the light for a moment and emailed me, and you're here to tell me everything's okay.
I emailed you.
May I talk to one of them, please?
That can't happen. I told them that I wanted to spend the session with you today.
I'm going to ask again, to whom am I speaking with now?
Dr. Fletcher, it's Barry.
It doesn't seem like Barry. Barry is an extroverted leader.
And apparently they take control of the body at different times. Some people actually describe it as like possession by like a demon or something like that. So let's check out how someone can have 40 personalities. Let's go.
Maggie's mind is home to about 40 separate identities she calls the girls.
I can be walking down the street, and I can be having an internal dialogue with the girls, and nobody would ever know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that happen often?
Yeah. I get their opinions a lot on things that are going on around, and the chatter, it does get old sometimes, and I just have to tell them to shut up.
It's a system of alters Maggie's brain created when she was a child to protect her from horrific, prolonged abuse.
Both of my parents physically and sexually abused me and passed me around to their friends. People who I start to get to know understand that's a pedophile ring. It's that sort of betrayal that requires a child to go, I have nowhere else to go. I've got to go to the back of my brain, and it makes alters.
So it's a real thing, folks, and it's sometimes characterized by the fragmentation or even splintering of a person's identity. The symptoms can't be just explained away, right, as a crazy person, because this is a real disorder and it causes chaos. 40 personalities, right? That's scary. You might be asking yourself, what happens if the evil personality takes over? And I believe we have seen this happen in things like Jeffrey Dahmer, who had multi-personality disorder, or DID.
Maggie has dissociative identity disorder, or DID, formerly known as multiple personality disorder.
There was never anything wrong with Maggie's brain. The condition that we call DID is really a very creative, clever solution that a child comes up with when they're dealing with overwhelming abuse.
Each alter has their own identity with distinct behaviours, interests and memories.
But most of all, they all have jobs to do. They were built to help this person survive without going crazy.
Maggie says her abuse started when she was just 3 and living in the US. Her first alter, Annie, became the lead personality. Her job was to manage the other girls to endure the abuse so that Maggie didn't have to.
DID reflects a failure to integrate various aspects of our identity, memory, and consciousness into a single multidimensional self. However, usually the primary identity runs the show, the strongest of the 40 for her. Let's go on.
Internally, it's just, I see them like Annie sits at a window, and I just see her in the window.
Wow. What's she doing?
Right now, she's just watching and observing, and she go, can I trust these people? And then I've got another alter called Angie. She's having fun with this right now because she thinks talking about this challenging perceptions and being willing to be honest about who we are is the thing that's going to change the world.
Would I be able to tell if Angie took over?
Probably not. It's very subtle. The thing about being dissociative, it's really easy to hide it.
How would you describe your alters?
Ones that are easy to describe would be Pretty Girl. She's got this bright blue dress on. She's sitting there waiting for mother's approval.
What about middle girl?
Middle Girl went through hell. She often wears t-shirts and shorts, and she runs around barefoot all the time.
Runaway girl.
She's probably 15, and she knew exactly what was going on. And she wears jeans and oversized shirts to try and hide who she is.
How does Slut Girl present?
So she's very full of herself, very confident. She has a bit of a swagger. I was getting some coffee from a local cafe, and a guy walked up who was in tight pants and a tight shirt, and she was starting to say things about wanting to get in his pants. And she got really loud and obnoxious about it in my head. And I looked up, and this guy was staring at me like I was, who the hell are you? I wasn't even sure, did I actually say that or not? But I'm pretty sure she said something. You know, and it is funny. It is very funny, but it's humiliating at the same time, you know?
Do they age with you?
No. The girls they're always that age, and that's probably one of the biggest challenges because they've got such childlike perspectives.
How are the girls? How's the system doing right now?
Pretty good. Annie's just sitting back, she's watching, she's going, she's got pretty eyes.
Multi-personality disorder usually comes with gaps in memory, and it rarely happens in adulthood. DID, or multi-personality disorder, happens when you are very young and experience trauma. And almost always, people have gaps in their memories, their personal history, people, places, and events. And these recurrent gaps cause distress, impairment in social setting. It affects you at work and your overall functioning, right? Change in the environment. And the only people who really have that are police officers who are trained to have that. People with DID who grow up in abuse, they learn that because they have to find a safe space. And what's really interesting is only about 1.5% of the world's population have multi-personality disorder, or DID. Not everybody hears voices, but it's very common for someone with this condition to hear voices in their brain of the different personalities. And the thing about DID, there is no medication to treat it. Let's go on.
Around 1.5% of Aussies live with DID, but it's often misdiagnosed.
The system that these people build is all about defensiveness. They're hypervigilant, but they often won't let therapists diagnose them if they don't trust the therapist can deal with that respectfully and well.
Maggie was diagnosed in her mid-20s, and at 63 is still trying to fill in the gaps of her fragmented memories.
I call them postcard memories, where, you know, you get a deck of cards, and you know you flip through it, and it's kind of like sometimes Annie will go, see, there's a whole bunch of memories, and I'm going, oh crap, okay, time to go see the therapist.
When they get these alters to describe what happened to them, they can do it with incredible clarity. Some of these alters, they haven't lived outside of their memories.
What do you think the biggest misconception is for people who have MPD?
That somehow an alter is going to come out and is going to hurt someone. And, you know, Hollywood doesn't help that. It's not fair because it's a system that was created to protect us. Protect us from the people, the real evil people. I want people to see that we're people like you.
After decades of therapy, Maggie says she's finally finding her feet. She and the girls have learned to coexist and have even written a book together.
I want people to know that people can survive this and we can have better lives. I want to make a difference in this world. Know that all the crap that happened to us can actually be used for good, and that makes me happy.
Will there be a time that you don't have the system?
No, because they are all part of who I am.
Would you want a world where it was just you?
No, I don't think so. To just have just me talking all the time, first, that would get really boring.
It's just an absolutely incredible condition to have. You know, and in many parts of the world, possession states are a normal part of spiritual practice. It manifests behaviors under the control of what the person thinks is a spirit, demon, or angel. But these states are only real when they are experienced by someone with MPD and they are unwanted, cause impairment, and as we all know, it's not really accepted by society. Maggie Waters is just one example of more than 8 million people people on the globe that have this. Or I hope I was able to teach you something today. And I will see you guys right back here tomorrow. Listen, if this is your first time here, thank you so much. If you're a returning viewer, please make sure you share this with your family and everybody. Like the video. It really helps me with the algorithm so that more and more people can see it. If I don't get the likes and the subscribes, then it's less people see it. So I really need your help to push this. And I will see you guys right back here tomorrow.